Good morning, guys. Whenever you're watching this, I'm kind of excited this morning because today we're actually going to get a chance to do something on the channel that I've never actually done before. We're going to work on paint and body on this. So I've got a few different things that we're going to try, and we're going to try and bring this paint back. Now the truck's still outside because we're going to need to start on the roof, mostly just because if everything goes wrong, at least that way it's on the roof where you don't see it. And it's a little tall to be in here. But we're going to try doing some cut and buffing with some Chemical Guys products. We'll see how that works. And then waxing it, putting a coat of wax on it. The paint that's on this truck is a single stage paint. And what that means is that when they mix the paint to spray it, it's cheaper and faster, but they mix the clear directly into the color. So you don't have a layer of primer, a layer of color, and a layer of clear, and then clear that you can correct on top really, honestly, pretty aggressively before you ever get near color. With this, it's all in one. So all you can really do is kind of remove the top layer of the paint that's actually there. So you kind of have to breathe on it. You kind of got to be a little light. Now, truck looks kind of okay. It probably looks a little okay in frame there, but that's because I already took the liberty of washing it this morning, so it's kind of wet right now. But the paint is actually pretty heavily oxidized. It's gone in the last 3 years or so since I had it painted, 3-4 years. It's gotten very chalky. So we'll see if we can bring back a little bit of that original shine, and I'll show you on the roof what I'm talking about, what especially the light blue used to look like. So I'm gonna let it air dry a little bit more, just because again it's single stage. There's really almost no point in drying it by hand. And then we'll climb up there with the buffer and stuff. I'll show you what we're using, and we'll see if we can actually bring this thing back to life. Okay, guys, let me show you what we've got in our kit here. So this is the buffer, the orbital buffer that Chemical Guys sells. The kind of trick to this thing, and again, I'm not a body guy, so I've had to learn this stuff, is that basically when you turn this on, this is your hook and loop pad that your various softness and hardnesses of pads will mount to. But it's going to spin, but it's also going to kind of buff, kind of work in an orbit. And the idea is if you do both actions, you're a lot less likely to put swirls and other marks in the paint. Comes with a couple different attachments. These are obviously your different pads. We're going to be working primarily with, actually we'll probably work with all three really, because we need to cut it down a little bit, and we need to actually polish it, and then we'll put a coat of wax on this thing to actually protect it, which is something that I'm honestly not sure I've ever actually done. These are our compounds. So these are what we're going to be working with. We'll primarily be working with these two. These are your much lighter cutting and polishing compounds. We're not actually going to be messing with these two. I'd be far more inclined to mess with these based on what research I've done if we actually had a three-stage paint. If we actually had a primer, we had a color, and a clear, like what's on my black Fiero. But with this one, because we don't want to remove a lot of paint, we just want to remove the oxidation out of the paint, we need to just kind of take it down a little bit. Like I was talking about, I'm going to show you what the cab used to look like. That's the idea of the difference in paint we're talking. That's the old Chrysler Glacier Blue. This is what it's become. So I want to see what we can do to try and shine that back up. I did forget one step that I had looked into. So one of the things people recommend a lot of times before you actually do any of this buffing, so you don't just grind stuff back into your paint, is using what's called a clay bar. Basically what you do is you rip off a section of this, knead it so it's thin, squirt the surface down with this, and then you rub it. The idea is it pulls all the dirt out of the paint so that it actually gets very smooth, and then you can buff it. So I'm going to do that real quick, and we're going to see how this actually turns out. Okay guys, I don't know if you can tell, it's a little hard to see, but it's already starting to get a little bit better. It's a little hard to tell probably, but so let me go ahead and get in here with the buffer. We'll get our compound on here and see if we can't get a little more of this shine back. Alright guys, so as I understand it, this is how I want you to essentially set this up. We basically put a few dabs on here. And after that, we'll see how much of this we actually get done without getting some more compound, because I don't know how far it's going to go. But apparently a quick misting of conditioner. Alright. Like I said, I'm going to set it on setting 2, like so. And switch it on. User error, had to learn. Alright, let's see what we can do. Just trying to see how far we can go with this, guys, because it's already looking a lot better, but I'm curious. Yeah, that's why the test spot's on the roof. Let's see how far we can get. I'm gonna start overlapping our little old spot again, a shiny bit. Alright guys, so you can see, or you should be able to see, a little hard to tell out here because we're outdoors for me, but it's not as good as that, but it is immensely better. It is far more of a metallic color, and we haven't even polished yet. So I'm gonna work over here, try and get the other half of the roof done, and then really all the roof, and then we'll move over to actually polishing it and see what we can get this thing to actually look like. Okay guys, so I've got probably about 2/3 of the roof polished, and we're still not back to what that was, but we're improving. So I'm gonna try hitting, because I need motivation. See how this is actually gonna be. I'm gonna try hitting the back half here with the actual polish and see how this actually comes out. So, this is that V38 polish on a white pad, which does not want to come out. No, because this one, for some reason, actually has a cap on it. Much thinner than the compound. Okay. Alright, let's see what it does. This truck is truly awful, so more is probably good. Alright, so it's 6. Okay. I don't think I'm sold now. Concept works. That actually turned out immensely well. If you look at it, I'm sure you hope you can see that. This is much more metallic. We're not quite down to where we want to be over here. I think we're going to get back to that. Well, I'm concerned about trying to take the paint down that far. So, but this is vastly improved over, see if you can see the chalky gray. So let me get the other side of the roof and we'll keep working. Okay, far better, far better. So now I just need to get the front lit edge of the roof. That hopefully won't take too long. And then we can come back, polish that, and then you can see about buffing some wax onto it and see what we actually look like. Alright guys, so proof of concept to me is that this does work. I think we're going to have fairly limited results though, because I ran into some heating issues with the camera trying to record out there. It's kind of hot. And we're in here where I wanted to be originally anyway, but the roof of the truck's a little too tall to work in here. So we're going to attack the hood of it, see what we can do. I'll bring in, let me show you what the hood looks like currently, and we'll see if we can buff it back. I don't know how much luck we're going to have. But, so this is the hood, and cameras are always a little kinder to paint finishes than real life, but you can see there's kind of oddly enough where the sun doesn't, maybe gets blocked for split seconds or something, or the paint's protected by this ledge. You can see the blue running along here, kind of right here, pooling. It's what it used to be. So it's obviously dried to this chalky gray. And I don't know if you can tell, I mean, like I said, the roof came out okay. Came out a little better. It's not quite just silver anymore. It is at least a blue, but I'm not convinced that this paint can be saved. We'll see what we can do with it. We'll start again by just clay barring this one, see what it comes out looking like then, and then we'll move on to buffing. I think we're going to try one of the harsher compounds, because maybe that's part of it. So again, I'm not as worried about what the roof looks like because the roof is not visible. It was more of a test panel to see if this was immediately going to ruin things. But we're going to try a little harsher compound on this and see if we can get a little deeper into the paint, see if maybe we get a little more to the metallic and get it to come back. If this works really well, there's a whole lot of truck left to do. But this is obviously going to be one of the worst spots. It's large and flat. This is where the sun hits it all the time and where it gets chalky. So let me get started. Again, I'd say that looks like a significant improvement. We're not down to anywhere approaching perfection, but it's far and away improved. Let's see. All my friends who know how to do auto detailing if they're watching, or once again throwing things at the screen, yelling at me. You can't do that. That's not how that's done. No. Yeah. But I think you can see that is much more blue than it is gray, and we're going to still have to polish that. What I'm going to do is, I guess, work my way around the rest of the hood. It's going to take a while. I'll work my way around the rest of the hood, and then we'll go to what we actually used on the roof, and then we'll polish up the last of it, and then we'll wax it. And we'll see how good we can get this hood to come out today. It's going to take a while. Not that worried about it. This is not by no means a show truck. We're trying to just remove buffing and polishing compound so that we can see what we actually have here. And it looks actually pretty amazing compared to what it looked like before. Clay bar this again. The problem is I've got that heavy duty clay bar that actually like leaves black stuff on it. Removes grime, but at what cost? So we'll try to spread some down one more time. Slightly cleaner rag. Look at that. All right. Look at the paint. Huge difference across the truck now. So obviously, even though the clear coat or the two-stage paint was extremely chalky, we were able to greatly improve it. Look, you can actually see that reflection in there from the hood ornament. So now it's just how much time it takes to get all the rest of it. So we'll at least finish up the hood today. Okay, so the hood came out pretty good. I've got a coat of wax on it now, which should protect it, but it's got much more gloss to it now. Looks much better than it did before. Very happy with that. Now, what I did notice, I backed it out, put it in the sun a little bit and looked at it. I don't think we're going to get another shot at this really, because you could already see a lot of the silver base coat kind of coming out. So I think this is pretty much as good as we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to be able to buff it ever again. At least not to that degree. We'll have to see. Hopefully we don't see. Hopefully we keep it waxed. It's not an issue. But I moved it back in here and adjusted it where it's sitting, because the next place I want to work is kind of come down the side. It looks better on camera than it is in person, but this paint on the side of the truck, basically from here down, is starting to get chalky down to about here. And there's some places we can't do a lot, like up here on the door. We actually have, let's see, it's starting to like wear through, like we're actually flaking. So there's not anything I can do about that, but I can probably go through here and just remove some of the chalkiness on the paint in here. You can probably see it a little bit, it's starting to get hazy. Hopefully that actually takes a lot less to polish that out. We'll just work our way around. It's gonna take a while, but we'll see how far we get today. guys, well, I'm ecstatic about this paint. We brought back a lot of color, a lot of shine, a lot of just character to it that I didn't think we'd be able to bring back. This is absolutely worth doing if you're looking at a similar situation. You have a chalky clear coat paint that's faded to the degree where it just doesn't look quite as good as it used to. I'd say it's absolutely worth spending your couple $100s on a buffer, finding yourself a shaded space, and just spending a weekend on it, because you can get results like this. Again, I'm kind of speechless. I didn't think it would. I've never done body work like this, the paint correction, and I had no idea. I had to put more wax on it, keep waxing it. That's another thing you have to keep in mind with doing this kind of stuff, because when you do buff it all back like this and take it all down, you've removed absolutely every protective coating that is on this paint. So yeah, you might have revealed something that looks good, but you need to now protect it. So that's going to be on me. I've never been much of a paint and body guy, so I need to do what I should have been doing in the first place, which is keeping it waxed. But it's absolutely worth a try, and it's worth doing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep an eye on the channel. There's always another job, something else that needs to get done. And I think I've got a couple pretty cool ones coming up that might be kind of fun for people to watch. So in any case, I'll see you next time.